Well, hello guys, it is that time once again for another edition of Odds and Ends, where I read you some really weird news stories from all over the world, and they don't call it Odds and Ends for a reason. Now, I apologize for it being a little late, but I got my source, I'm ready to go, as I'm sure you guys are, so without further ado, let's begin. Our first story comes out of Sweden. Two criminal masterminds were caught red-handed trying to steal refreshments and a toilet seat from a courthouse in southern Sweden. According to the Kristianstad newspaper, a 24-year-old woman and a 38-year-old man were spotted on a security camera attempting to break into a storage locker in the break room of a district courthouse in Kristianstad. The suspected thieves were stopped by police outside the courthouse. When searched, they found to be carrying tea, coffee, sugar, and a toilet seat. Quote, it's been said that they had been at a hearing. They clearly thought what was said was crap, said Michael Persson of the Kristianstad police, expecting a rimshot to accompany his quote. The toilet seat snatchers are being held on suspicion of robbery and attempted robbery. Okay, here's my question. Why would you be stupid enough to steal stuff from a freaking courthouse when you were already there for a hearing? Yeah, that's not a good idea, because if you are trying to steal in the place of law and you get caught, you're gonna go to jail anyways. But you didn't think that through, did you? No, I didn't think so. Moving on, our next story comes out of Scotland, where have police in the UK given up trying to stop the infamous, quote, naked rambler from wandering the countryside in the Buff. Stephen Goh, 53, was first arrested in 2003 when he walked across England wearing nothing more than boots, socks, and a backpack. In 2005, on his second jaunt across the continent, he was arrested several more times. Scotland, which has much stricter nudity laws than the rest of the United Kingdom, busted him a total of 20 times. That includes several contempts of court charges in which he refused to appear before a judge with clothing on. In 2006, he spent 6 months in jail for removing his clothes during a flight to Edinburgh. In 2008, he was jailed for 12 months for breach of the peace. Upon his release in 2009, he walked out of the prison and promptly doffed his clothing, which led to his rearrest. Since then, Goh has been released and immediately rearrested at the gates of Perth prison several times. On July 17th, Goh was released once again. This time, however, prison officials turned the other cheek and allowed him to walk it off into the sunset naked. Quote, my option, Goh told the BBC. Quote, is that the police have thought. The guy's not going to give up, so let's have a think about it. Something has changed, and it is good news for me. It is nice to be standing here feeling the breeze. Following his release, Goh started hiking back to his home in Isle Hants, in the nude, of course, in hopes of returning with his family. Quote, my children are teenagers now, so I expect they are embarrassed by me. If I was them and my dad was walking around naked, I suppose I would be embarrassed, said Goh. Scottish police had agreed to let Goh continue his journey, so long as they received no serious complaints. Goh made it all of 26 miles to the town of Tonenhill in Swansea before he was arrested again for breach of peace. Okay, dude, why do you continue to keep doing it when you know your place of origin where you're living in right now has the strictest nudity laws, and yet you've done it already, and this is your 20th, 21st arrest because of your nudity? Surprised they haven't thrown him in jail because of it. And when I say jail, I mean like life in prison type of jail. Surprised they haven't like actually done that, but like I said, they probably have different laws and like penalties for when it comes to stuff like this. But Moving on, our next story comes out of Georgia. Apparently, Tanya Flower didn't like the unflattering mugshot police took of her, so she called 911 to complain about it. Borough County News reports that Fowler spotted her face in the Georgia-based Bad and Busted weekly mugshot newspaper. The 45-year-old contacted 911 and, quote, was upset about how she looked on the front page of the Bad and Busted printing. In a report on the incident, the Winder Police Department officer took her call, went on to say, quote, I informed Miss Fowler to contact 911 for emergencies, injuries, or violence. In the end, Fowler got her wish. She was arrested again for unlawful use of 911 and disorderly conduct and was given a brand new mugshot. Okay, don't complain to the police about your mugshot when you are on there for a reason. And on top of the charges you just got charged with for calling the police. People really do not know. People are stupid. I don't know what else to say. I'm just going to leave it at that. Anyway, and moving on. Our last story comes out of New York. It works for Republicans. When in doubt, blame President Obama. A Rochester man arrested on July 27th for inappropriately fondling children's feet at the Penfield Public Library says he's being set up by Barack Obama. Anthony Parry, 49, was originated on 2 felony charges of sex abuse and endangering the welfare of a child. According to court documents obtained by WHAM 13 TV, Perry removed a child's shoe, fondled her foot, and rubbed it against his nose and mouth for the purpose of sexual gratification. The child's mother and an employee both witnessed the alleged action and called police. A second 6-year-old also came forward to tell authorities Perry touched her feet. Perry pleaded not guilty in court, claiming the allegations against him was part of a vast political conspiracy. Quote, I'm being set up by the President Barack Obama and the city and federal government, he told WHAM outside court on July 18th. Bookstores and libraries in neighboring communities have reported 5 other cases in which a man approached girls between the ages of 5 and 10 and tried to lick their feet. Police are investigating whether Perry is linked to those incidents. Okay, don't blame government for a crime that you committed and you're going to turn around and say, oh, it wasn't me, I blame the president and the federal government and stuff like that. The only thing you should blame the government and society for is how bad we've become in the last year, in these past few years. Everything has just gotten worse and worse and worse. And if you're going to blame anybody for how bad things are getting and only getting worse, blame the government for them not doing their job and for screwing us over and the reason why we're in debt and all this other stuff. That's how I see it. Anyways, guys, that is it for this edition of Odds and Ends, and I really hope you guys enjoy listening to those stories as much as I like reading them to you. And we will see you next week for another edition, and until next time, see you guys later.